Whether you are a mum or a dad, a grandparent or a carer, there is no topic more hotly debated than raising kids. With me today are a few names and faces that you might recognise from your TV screens and sporting arenas, but when it comes to the home front, they are simply known as mum or dad. So it is a big talking honey welcome to mum of two and former AFLW star Moana Hope, dad of three and Today Extra host David Campbell, and mum of three and 9 Honey writer Jo Abbey. Welcome to you all.
Hello.
Topic right now is the juggle. It is the bane of every parent's existence. How to juggle work and kids and school and life, maybe a relationship as well. How do you cram it all in and be hopeful that everyone turns out okay? Moana, I'm going to start with you because, like me, you're pretty much at the start of the parenting journey with two very little ones. How much are you juggling so far, and are you prepared for what's ahead?
I don't really have a choice. I think I can join a circus with the amount of juggling I have. It's really tough. Like, I'm also like, I run my own company. I have 130 people that work for me as well. Wow. And I gave birth 16 weeks ago, and I've worked all the way through. So I'm trying to be the best mum I can. Also keep business afloat, and also be a wife. That, sometimes we're in the same house and I don't see her until 5 minutes before we rate our kids, and who's the best kid. Yeah. So I think it's really tough, and you really like, for me, it's not that my wife thinks I'm antisocial, which I'm not. It's just that when I get time on the weekends, I want it to be family. That's it. Like, I don't want to go and catch up with mates as much as I love them. But it is really hard to juggle. And I think as a parent that birthed a child, it's so tough to ask me to birth a child and go back to work in 20 weeks. My body hasn't even physically recovered. I'm still seeing a physio every week. I'm still getting work done. And then also I'm breastfeeding my son. Like, I don't want to stop breastfeeding my son. I also don't want to go to work and pump while my son's at home, that's where I want to be. So I think it's just, for me, it's a massive ask and something that you just have no choice. You just have to figure out how it's going to work and just make it work. So you have to find your own thing. It
kind of blows my mind that people have been doing this for decades, because I don't know how anyone keeps it all afloat, especially you and Lisa, DC. You guys are crazy busy with parenting and businesses and extracurricular activities. How do you do it?
Scheduling. Schedule everything. Schedule a date. Schedule everything, and it's really important to schedule dates too. And I think that, jumping on what Moana was saying there too, you need to find time for your partner. And actually, even if it's like 20 minutes where you just talk about no kids for a little bit, and like, how's your day, what's happening in your life, because it's often like, Lisa and I, if we do go on a date, we'd be like, oh, what about what Billy said today? No, just no kids for a little bit. But yeah, I do that all the time. So we spend, at the end of the night, we sit down after we get both kids to bed, and we'll be watching TV, and then we'll go, oh my God, look at this photo I took today. And then all of our hour together is spent doing this, right? At the photos of our kids. So it is like... And they're just in the other room.
I know. And then when they're awake... when they're asleep.
I think the best when they're asleep. But I think it's about scheduling. I'm in the moment now, Jo, and you would know this too well, is that all I'm doing is driving. Yeah. All I'm doing now, I'm becoming... literally, it happened without me knowing, and I'm the dad taxi. But that's my time with them in the car too. We play music and sing along. So it's all about scheduling. It's about asking for help from people at work if you need to. I mean, everyone here at Nine's been so good to me. I had to go to my son's high school, entering into high school sort of thing, where we had to learn about the school and where he's going to be, and everyone here was like, that's fine, take the day and do that. So it's being open, and I think we're all better with parents now.
When you say you're driving, you mean you've got a driver that drives you?
No, it means I am driving. Three kids. Doing that in the back, stop, don't touch her.
I know, yeah, for sure.
Now, Jo, look, I have a co-parent to share my load with. My husband. You're a single mum. What is your hot tip for making it work?
There are lots of single parents out there, and they're the parents of kids of all ages. And look, there's a reason marriages end. I don't think you go from, co-parenting together well to suddenly being single. There's always exceptions, but I've just always been used to doing it myself. And it's a bit of a slow build, and sometimes it's easier to do it yourself. And now that my kids are older, I can sort of look back and be very proud. But, I really did lean on my my family, my mum and my sister and my dad and my brother. We've really raised our children as a village, and a lot of cultures still do that. Italian cultures, Indian cultures, they all live in the same buildings, they all help each other, one cooks dinner, they all share. For some reason in Australia we're in little silos and we're expected to do it all ourselves. So it's really about embracing that village and family members. My family's helped me and I help them, and that's the only reason I've gotten through as a single mum, and my kids are okay. So, you know, a lot of people don't have work flexibility, so, you know,
or
get that tribe
support
together, or family support. So, I mean, you just sort of do it, don't you? You get up and you do it.
And some days do you get to the end of the day and you think, how did I just do that? Because
Not the
on
day of the
paper I
year.
shouldn't have been able to do it,
I know.
but I did.
I sort of look back on the last 10 years like that and go, whoa, like, wow.
But it's also
and have little
accepting the fact that
moments.
some days you don't.
Some days
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah, some days it is messy and things go wrong.
Yeah,
And you don't
yeah.
see it coming.
But you're a family and you forgive each other and you're a team. And I sort of did say to the kids, you know, when I left their dad, I was like, look, you know, we're a team, we're equal members of this team, we all matter, we're going to just pull together and get through. And we've really become this really amazing team.
Yeah.
And now that they're teenagers, they sort of help me out a little bit as well. So, yeah.
Moana, I don't know about you, I found that when I became a parent and then went back to work, it was almost like I became two different people. I was mum when I was at home, and then I was Jane as a party when I was at work.
Severance.
Yeah, it's two different people. Do you find that? Or do you find that you're sort of kind of one foot in one camp and one foot in the other?
Oh, I think I've learnt a lot through this parenting, like a very short time of parenting. And I think when we first had Sphere, I kind of just took we're fortunate enough that Belle's a stay-at-home mum and looks after both of our kids. And don't let that be underplayed, because being a stay-at-home mum is much harder, I think, than the job that I do, and I do quite a large job. So stay-at-home mums or dads are unbelievable at what they do. And I would just go to work and I'd finish work and I'd be like, okay, I've finished work now, it's time for me to switch off. And you know, Belle would talk to me heaps and be like, you know, I need help. Like, I've been working all day, and I didn't quite fully understand it at the start. And I was like, I've been working all day. And it was that, you know, and then I took some days off to be the stay-at-home mum. And I was like, you need help. So now, like, we have these little, like, I have little chores where I'm able to cut her some slack and give her some time out. And that, like, as soon as I finish work, I get like the stacking the dishwasher job, and because I can't cook, I'm horrendous at cooking. Or just take the kids to the park for an hour. I've just got certain little things that allows her 15 minutes or an hour to herself, but also allows me to contribute and hang out with the kids.
I think, you know, if you have the means, it's great to be able to outsource some of the things that you don't want to do, but it's only a very small percentage of the population that has that luxury. Joe, how do you do it when you're trying to make enough money to keep the lights on and keep the roof over the head, but also give enough time to your children that they've got mum around?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think if you're super busy and you're working outside of the home, you just have to focus on quality time as opposed to quantity. Make sure that you're really there for your kids when you are home. I was hoping after the pandemic that most workplaces would continue to embrace work from home and flexible arrangements. Some are and some aren't. If you have, I mean, during the school holidays, my sister and I would just sort of divvy up the day so we could both work. But you can do that amongst school families as well and preschool families as well. Just sort of make those connections, build your own tribe, and that way you can look after each other's kids while you work. It won't cost you too much, and yeah, just help each other out. Let's all just help each other out, and that does include employers and workplaces. Keeping up those flexi arrangements, because parents work hard because we've got to get it done. So yeah.
DC, do you ever just think about packing it all in and moving away and living a quiet life just as dad?
No, because then I'd be stuck with my kids on a farm somewhere with no help and no escape. The great thing about coming into work is, like you say, is like there is a brain break, and that's why it's important for when we, you know, this whole thing about equality in the workplace and allowing mothers to get back to work when they feel like it's the right time is so important for their mental health as well. And the more we get into that and gear our society around that, the better off as parents as a society will be.
Yeah, definitely.
3 cheers to the working parents, 3 cheers to the stay-at-home parents. Everyone is doing their best, and when it comes to parenting, everyone is different, and there is nothing wrong with that. So thank you to David, Moana and Joe. And if you want more on babies, teens and everything in between, head to 9honey.com.au.